Good morning, students. We just discussed in today's class about the superconductivity. We just start with the first one, that is actually what is actually the meaning of superconductivity. So the superconductivity has been discovered 101 years of superconductivity, which has been already discovered, right, 101 years ago. Now, what is this actually, the electrical resistivity? You can just see this, what is happening to this three different things which has been shown to you in the graph. So when we just take on x-axis temperature and the resistivity of the material, so what we'll just discuss with the starting with Kelvin. The electron will be frozen with the negative resistivity, and this resistivity is growing. See, you can just see this resistivity is growing until the infinity. Now here, so this is what the var which says that the lattice will be frozen, the negative frozen, the electrons will not be scattered, and the resistivity will decrease till 0. You can just see this particular graph, right. So it is the resistivity, the electron will be not be scattering, the resistivity becoming 0. And what the Mathins say, that the residual resistivity because of the contamination, right, the due to this contaminations are nothing but lattice defects, what we have just discovered, right, in the what we have studied in our previous classes. So the what we go, how to reach this temperature to 0 Kelvin. So when we just started with the discovery of superconductivity, so the superconductivity, first of all, just we are just uh, introducing the phenomena of superconductivity. So before introducing that, what is the origin of the superconductivity, that actually we are going to learn in this class. The who is the persons, right, who are the persons who are responsible for the discovery of superconductivity. So we just started with the William in 18th century, 1895, William Ramsay in the, right, who discovered the helium, right, the person who has discovered the helium, and on the earth, right, the existence of the helium. So the in 1908, H. Kamerlingh Onnes, who at a boiling point of 4.22 Kelvin, 4.22 Kelvin, see the Kamerlingh Onnes liquefied the helium. So the discovery of helium done by William Ramsay, and the helium has been liquefied by Kamerlingh Onnes. And so what is the importance of liquefying this? See here, the resistivity at low temperature, example, the resistivity, what the resistivity of the given material, right, at a particular temperature, and particularly we deal with the low temperature. So the pure mercury, where what you can say that repeated the resistivity measurements indicates here there exists zero resistance at the liquid helium temperature. Now this has been given by the Kamerlingh Onnes, who liquefied the helium, and he says that the resistivity is becoming zero, the resistance is becoming zero, right, at a particular temperature. And for mercury, it is given the critical temperature where it is behaving, where the resistivity of the material is, the resistance of the material is becoming zero. Now, so what actually we are dealing here is that we are dealing with the introduction or discovery of the what you can say superconductor. First we will discuss in 4 to 5 slides or different slides regarding what is the basic what you can say basics of the superconductivity. So the starting with the second discovery, liquid helium at 4 Kelvin, 1908. The boiling point is nothing but 4.22 Kelvin. Just now we just told you. So mercury has been passed to a new state, right? So which on account of extraordinary electrical properties, these be now the mercury previously was known for various application, particularly in the thermometers and so on. But when it has been see, when at a temperature of 4.22 Kelvin, the same mercury is exhibiting a special state that is called superconducting state, and due to which the Kamerlingh Onnes has been awarded with the Nobel Prize in 1913. Now this is the graph which shows you the resistivity of this material. Now this was the discovery which has been made by the Camerlingons, and for which he was awarded Nobel Prize, right, in 1913, right. Now this was the first what you can say discoverer of the superconducting phenomena, and the superconducting phenomena particularly deal with the material. In next we go to the next discoveries of, see, the at 1911 to 1986 there was a low temperature superconductors, and the highest superconducting critical temperature. See, why I am trying to do with the critical temperature means the material which are exhibiting at this particular temperature, it exhibit a different state, right. That is called, we call that as a superconducting state. So we just call that particular temperature as the critical temperature. Now, so we just taken the two, then further when we move to the 90s, so K. Mueller and J. Bedrons, they won the Nobel Prize for the high temperature superconductors, which is ranging between 23 Kelvin, right. So now this was the discovery which has been made by these two scientists. So in the previous Camerlingons, we just discussed Camerlingons, that there was a discovery made by the Camerlingons at low temperature, right, and the slightly high temperature, that is 4.2 Kelvin, 3 Kelvin, and so on. Now here these two scientists have discovered we say that this is actually the high temperature superconductors, right, which has been given with an example, right. You can just see this Lab taken twice, CuO4. Now this is the, we just call this depending upon the critical temperature, we call that this is the discovery of highest what you can say high temperature superconductors, right. So now the next one that we just discussed here, there are different here in 1920 mercury, lead, niobium, and so on, and you find that there is a liquid nitrogen also. So at different years different materials have been discovered at different critical and their critical temperatures is been shown to you, right. Now what is the meaning of zero resistivity now? So how you define zero resistivity? So now see here, low temperature 77 Kelvin, that is minus 196 degree centigrade. At this particular temperature, the given material will not have any resistivity, and this material which is not possessing any resistivity, we say that the current is flowing. See how many years? Like lakhs of years, right? Lakh of years, 1 lakh. Just we are giving an example. So many thousands and lakh of years, the material will show the electrical what you can say existence of electricity inside the material due to this property of zero resistivity. Now, so we just with this we just know that the scientist, right, what is he has done is that according to Meissner is the name of the scientist. So here he says that a superconductor is a perfect diamagnet, and that particular diamagnetic material, right. So we are using magnetic materials here, right. So we are talking about the magnetic material. Meissner say that a superconductor is a perfect diamagnet, and superconducting material is X. So what the superconducting material? See, if at normal temperature, if this is the material, you can just see that this is the material. So at normal temperature, in this material, the magnetic lines of forces will be traveling in this particular direction, right. So now, if the temperature is reduced, right, we say that the temperature is reduced means, we see here on the surface of the superconductor when the temperature is less than the critical temperature. So critical temperature is a temperature where the particular material will exhibit a different state, right. So now we say that this temperature at which it is exhibiting a different state, so we say that that is a critical temperature. So at this particular temperature, the superconducting current will be induced here. You can just see this. There will be no magnetic lines of force inside this material. You see, you can just see this diagram. Here you will find the magnetic lines of force are transmitting, and they are coming out of this particular material. Here you just see this particular material. In this material, the magnetic lines of force are expelling out, right. So this expulsion of the magnetic lines of forces, we say that this is called the Meissner effect. So now this has been discovered in the 1933. You can just see a superconductor is a perfect diamagnet, and the superconducting materials expels magnetic flux from the interior position. Now on the surface of superconductor, you will find that superconducting current will be induced. At this particular surface, you will find, see, surrounding this material, right, at the surfaces, the surface, right, at the outer surface of this material, since you find the magnetic lines of forces, and definitely in the perpendicular direction, you will find that there will be a superconducting current which will be induced, which will, and due to which you can just see this particular levitation phenomena. You can just see here, this is called the levitation, magnetic levitation. These superconductors are having a very special property of levitation, and definitely this will be explained to you by I will show you the video also regarding this superconductor. So we just go for the periodic table in which elements. So see here, just now we in the last chapter we just studied about ferromagnetic elements. These ferromagnetic elements are not superconducting or superconducting elements. So see, you already know that there are silver, copper, right? They are not superconducting element, but they are very good conductors, right? So niobium has the highest critical temperature of 9.2 Kelvin from all the elements, which is showing the property of superconducting phenomena. Now when we just see the exact classical model of the superconductivity, which has been shown to us by the Bardeen, Cooper and the Schrieffer, there is an electron, the way through which the lattice is interacting, you can just see this. There are, see, the lattice deformation, you can just see this is the arrangement of the lattice points, and they are getting, see, they are not in a sequential order. Here you can just see this, there is a deformation which is occurring. So what is actually, how this deformation is occurring is that, see, the electron is interacting with the other electron. You can just see red marks are the lattice points, and you can just see the blue points or spheres, whatever you are observing. That particular blue points are nothing but they are the electrons, and the electrons here are not directly interacting with each other. They are taking, see here also you can just see small dot which is of blue color, red, blue, and so here the interaction between the two electrons is done by the what you can say these lattice points, and we say this is called phonons, right? These are nothing but phonons, right? Now this one phonon is oscillating. See, this is oscillation, right? You can just see this arrangement. Now they are slowly oscillating, right? Here also you can just see this is slowly oscillating. So oscillating phonons will interact with each other, and due to this interaction they will give some signal to the electron, and we say that is called the Cooper pair of the electron. Now this again this particular property has been shown very clearly by these three scientists, which has been given which are the person who are responsible for the BCS theory. We say this is called BCS theory, and for this particular theory they have been awarded Nobel Prize in the 1972. You can just see this, the Nobel Prize is given to them. See here, just now we are seeing the schematic diagram. The electron is interacting with the help of a phonon. The electron is interacting with the help of phonon, right? You can just see this. The interaction between any two electrons is done by phonon. This concept was given by what you can say, John Bardeen, Cooper, and John Robert Schrieffer, right? Now for which they have been awarded the Nobel Prize. You come to know what is happening and what are the different applications. So right now this is what actually what you can say the Cooper pair. Now what is the element which is actually destroying the superconductivity? You can just see this. The current produces magnetic field, which in turns, see, whenever the current is definitely the current when is present, that presence of current, right, definitely induce the magnetic field in the opposite direction, and definitely this will destroy the superconductivity when at a particular temperature. You can see this high temperature. At high temperature, strong thermal vibrations of the lattice is dominating about the electron phonon interaction. Now this definitely will be explaining you this particular thing with different what you can say here. See, now we just started with this. See, in the previous PPT we just had a discussion regarding who are the persons, right? First we just started with the origin of superconductors and who are the basic what you can say personalities, right, due to which we got the information regarding the superconductor, and due to which they have been awarded the Nobel Prizes. Now we'll just go for introduction starting. See, our actual class starts now. In the before PPT we just had an introduction regarding what is actually the superconductor is and who are the personalities responsible for the discovery of the superconductivity. Now, so we just start with this, some materials which whose has the resistivity is vanishing at some low temperature, we will call such materials or such phenomena is known as superconducting phenomena, and such materials are called superconductivity. So what is actually the superconductivity? You can just see this, the superconductivity is the ability of certain materials to conduct the electric current with no resistance, and thus the superconductor carry large amount of current with very less loss of the energy. You can see this, the Kamerlingh Onnes who have found the resistance. Just now we discussed that when he cooled the mercury at 4.2 Kelvin, he terms that there is a new electrical state that mercury had been entered, and that particular state is nothing but superconducting state. You can just see the schematic figure also, where he has been, where we are showing you the on the x-axis, if the temperature is taken on x-axis and the resistance on the y-axis, you can, this is particular phenomena which shows you the characteristic of resistance with respect to the temperature for different materials. Now, how we will call this as a same material, how it is exhibiting the superconducting, and how non-superconductivity is existed, right, at a particular temperature. Right. Now, when we move to the different properties of the superconductors, you can just see this, the properties which will not be affected is nothing but elastic properties and photoelectric properties, internal arrangement of crystal lattice, which has been confirmed by X-ray diffraction, and the properties of the materials which will be affected. So you will have different magnetic properties, thermoelectric specificate, and so on. We just see this very clearly, this, right. And just now I have shown you in the previous slide also which material is called to be a non-superconductor and which material is said to be a superconductor. You can just see that inside this material you don't find any magnetic field. We just say that B is equal to 0. Now you can just see here the magnetic lines of forces. See, B internal magnetic induction field will be equal to the external magnetic field, right. So now, just now we discussed about the Meissner effect. Again we just going for a very clear idea of the Meissner effect. So Meissner, which has been discovering when a superconducting is cooled in a magnetic field below a particular value of transition temperature, that corresponding to that field, the lines of magnetic induction B are pushed out of the bulk superconductor. You can just see this, the superconductor magnetic lines of force are expelling out, and we just say that at a particular this temperature, this is exhibiting the Meissner effect. Now, what are these type 1 superconductors? There, see, we'll just say that this is a type 1. What is actually meaning of type 1 superconductor? Now we go for some different classification, right. Superconductor, we just learned about superconductors. So what is actually the meaning of superconductor? Now, what are the classifications of superconductors? So now there are superconductors which are exhibited complete Meissner effect. So that superconductors are termed as type 1 superconductors. So how many metals are there? 30 pure metals which are exhibiting zero resistivity at low temperature. They are called type 1 superconductors or soft superconductors, and the superconducting exists only below certain critical temperature. You can just see this, right. And we've been showing you this particular type of superconductors, type 1 superconductors. You can just see this. These are the few examples of superconductor where zinc, gallium, titanium, right, zircon, and so on. Few very huge amount of materials, lead, niobium. You can just see this. That with respect to that, the critical temperature in terms of Kelvin will be taken into existence, right. This is about your type 1 superconductors. We have just shown you type 1 superconductors, examples of type 1 superconductors. Now, what are type 2 superconductors? These are the superconductors which do not exhibit Meissner effects. They will not exhibit Meissner effect. Now in the who are the materials who are exhibiting such Meissner effect is not exhibited by the materials. Lead, bismuth alloys were found which exhibit superconductivity, and they are considered to be type 2 superconductors, or will say that two superconductors are hard superconductors. We can just see this, they are found to have much higher critical fields. Critical fields in the sense here we are talking about the magnetic field, right, and therefore they carry very high current density while remaining in the superconducting state, right. Now this is about superconductor 2, and say the examples of the type 2 superconductor is shown to you. These are the type 2 superconductors, right, which comes in the combination of their alloys, right. Now, what are the different properties of the superconductor? Which material? See, normal metal at a particular critical temperature is exhibited by a different state, and that different state is nothing but superconducting state. So, what are the different characteristic or the properties of superconductors, and what are the factors which are affecting the superconductors, right? So, they are temperature, magnetic field, current, stress, impurity, and isotopic constitution of the specimen. So, in the examination we will ask you describe the characteristic properties of the superconductor. So, you can just write it down, which is given in the slide, right. The temperature. Now, what is the effect of temperature on the superconductors, right? If a ring made up of superconducting material, ring is made up of a superconducting material, and it has been cooled at a particular magnetic field, right, at particular ordinary temperature, that is called the below critical temperature, then the magnetic field is removed, definitely. So, just now we have shown you the diagram where when at a critical temperature, less than the critical temperature, the material is exhibiting superconductivity. The resistance in the superconducting state being practically zero, the decay of this induced current will take infinitely long time. So, we just say that the resistance in the superconducting state being practically zero. So, at a particular temperature, that is critical temperature, the metal or a pure metal, right, example we taken with the mercury. So, at a 4.2 Kelvin it is exhibiting Kelvin, right, at that particular temperature it is exhibiting superconductivity. Now, what is the effect of magnetic field? On the application of magnetic field to a superconducting specimen, you can just see that where H is equal to Hc, the critical field, the superconductor is behaving as a normal material. See, if the magnetic field is exactly what you can say, the normal external field, if the external field whatever you are applying, if it is equal to the critical field, then that particular material will exhibit the superconductivity, superconductor property will not be exhibited by the those material, right. Only the superconductivity phenomena is coming into existence at a particular magnetic field, and that particular magnetic field is termed as critical magnetic field, right. Now, I think that you got a very clear idea what is critical temperature and what is critical magnetic field. Critical temperature, the temperature at which the normal metal is changing its state, right. That temperature is critical temperature, and at a particular magnetic field, the particular metal is exhibiting a special property called superconducting state. So, that particular magnetic field is said to be a critical magnetic field. Now, if the magnetic field around the superconductor is increased beyond certain critical value, definitely the superconductivity will be destroyed, right. So, if you increase the magnetic field above the critical Hc value, definitely that particular superconductor will not be, now it will not be in a superconducting state, it will become normal material or normal conductor. Now, what will happen when you apply some stress? So, application of stress increase the temperature. When you apply the stress, everybody knows when you apply some amount of stress, right, heat will be generated, and that heat will be generated means the temperature will increase. So, the increased state of the application of force, so that is the given material will not exhibit superconductivity. Size of specimen exhibiting superconductivity is a very important parameter for its behavior. Now, definitely if the size is less, definitely you will find that there will be definite effect of the size on the superconductor. So, impurity, the presence of impurities changes almost all the properties of the superconductor. And so, what is that impurity which has been changing? Whatever the impurity may be in terms of atoms, or right, in terms of electrons and so on. So, when we talk about impurity of the atoms, so let us consider we talk about impurities of the atoms. So, impurity of the atom definitely change the magnetic behavior of that particular material. So, you already know this isotopic effect on the material. The critical temperature of the specimen depends upon the mass, isotopic mass, and the presence of different isotopes in a given specimen decide the isotope mass of that particular material, which has been shown mathematically. The critical temperature is directly proportional to the is inversely proportional to root of the isotopic mass, and we say this particular phenomena as isotope effect, right. Now BCS theory, you can just see this. This is actually we cannot see electron, phonon by naked eye. So we say that this BCS theory is a microscopic theory, which is put forward by this particular scientist. Now, and we and this particular theory is based on the quantum theory of superconductivity. The fundamental postulate of this BCS theory is that when an attractive interaction between the two electrons by means of a phonon, we'll find that there will be exchange, there will be an exchange of phonons, right? And these exchange of phonons will definitely indicate that there will be some interaction between the electrons, right, which are surrounding this particular phonon, right? We say that the next we are just going for electron phonon electron interaction. During an interaction of electron with a positive ion, right, when I say metal, right, or any material, right, definitely it will have the electrons and also you will have a positive ion. So therefore we say that during an interaction of an electron with a positive ion of the lattice through definitely the force which is acting between them is an electrostatic Coulombic forces. So some electron will get transferred, right? As a result, the positive ions will definitely set up some elastic wave in the lattice due to this distortion. If another electron happens to pass through it, right, you can just see this. In this particular figure, you can just see this, right? This is one electron and this is one electron, and the interaction between these two electrons, right, is done by the phonon, and we say that this is called electron phonon interaction. And this interaction is very strong when two electrons have equal and opposite movements and they spin, and this pair we'll just say that is called the Cooper pair, right? Which is, we see these two electrons is see here has been shown with the lattice spacing, which is ranging from 0.1 to 4 nanometer. So this is actually the microscopic theory which tells us about the interaction between any two electrons is done by phonons, right? Now, what is actually this Cooper pair and how this Cooper pair is important, right? So when the temperature of the specimen or material is lowered, so you'll definitely there will be an attractive force between the two electrons, and this attractive force is directly via a phonon, and this particular pair of the electron which is interacting via phonon, we say that is called Cooper pair, right? And definitely the energy of the Cooper pair is very much less than the energy of the electron which is present in the normal free state, right? So the electrons in the Cooper pair have opposite spin. So the two electrons which are trying to interact, definitely they will have the opposite spin, and the total spin definitely of this pair will be 0. As a result, the Cooper pairs are, we just call that Cooper pairs as bosons, whereas electrons are fermions, right? So I think that you got to understood that what is the basic difference between the fermions and the Cooper pairs. Here Cooper pairs are nothing but interaction of two electrons, right, via phonon, and we say that particular interaction with respect to via phonon, we say that are nothing but bosons, and whereas the electrons, normal electrons, we just whatever we'll consider that will be considered to be fermions. Now, so what are the actually different applications of the superconductivity? You can just see that superconductors are used to make very powerful magnets, including they are used in MRI machines. You can just see when you go to the hospital, you'll definitely for MRI. So these are the superconducting magnets, right? Very powerful electromagnets are made up of, if it is made up of superconductors, definitely, and they are made up of superconductors, and they are used for MRI machines, and they are also used for particles. So when we talk about particle accelerators, we just talk about the microscopy. We are trying to talk about microscopic particles, right, ions and so on. So superconductors have also been used to make digital circuits and microwave filters for mobile phone base stations, right? You will have a mobile phone base stations, and these base stations you need some digital circuits, and these digital circuits are made up of they when see for digital circuits we can use these superconductors, and which are having numerous advantages when compared to the normal digital circuits what actually we use, right? So now promising future applications will find that very high performance transformers and power storage devices, electrical power transmission and electric motors and magnetic levitation devices. For these also it is having numerous applications. Now still the research is going on high with the high temperature superconductor. Now we'll just see a video where you will easily understand what is actually superconductor is, right? Now, see. Okay. Right, with this we'll just complete today's class. Tomorrow's class we'll just see the next topic of superconductors. Right, thank you everyone.